Namaskar, friends. I welcome you all to the Hindu Science and Technology analysis on October 8, 2023. In the serene valleys of Albaros Mountains, there is a very solitude, monotonous prison which could break the minds of the bravest and the resolute minds. The solitary confinements and the tortures of the prison, even the bravest minds would not, even for dreams, think of landing into. That is Tehran's Evin prison, where this year's Nobel Peace Laureate Ms. Nargis Mohammadi is languishing. The prison, Evin's prison, the conditions of the tortures and the solitary confinement on which she wrote a book in 2022, which is named White Torture, is an interview of some of the women prisoners in the Tehran's Evin prison. She has always been in limelight and been jailed for several times because she was uplifting the leftist movement of the human rights and the women's rights and against death sentence. She has been an applied physics graduate who rose to fame with her writings, the liberal leftist writings which appeared in magazines. She raised the movement Dashakul Danish Joy Roshangaran. This Dashakul Danish Joy Roshangaran was pitting for the human rights, especially the women's rights, in the revolutionary Iran, which was a radicalization since 1979 when the previous Shah regime ended and Shah fled. Ayatollah Khomeini took over in 1979 as a representative of the revolutionists. He cracked down on the liberal leftist liberals who were clamoring for the human rights. Crackdown continued for long. Even Nargis Mohammadi was the victim of this crackdown. She joined the Center for the Human Rights, and which was led by Abidi, another Nobel laureate of 2003. So, the persistent jailing of her around 13 times, despite she is having neurological disorders which would compel the Iranian authorities to release her several times. She was jailed several times, 13 times. She has been languishing in jail and has been jailed for a term of 31 years. This did not deter her. The relentless pursuits of Ms. Nargis Mohammadi is now recognized by the Nobel Committee. However, this did not help her win over the hearts of the authorities, Iranian authorities, who are just stubborn upon cracking down on the dissenters every time. They are falsely alleging that she is in prison for moving against the national security, which is not true. It is hoped that on December 10th, when the Nobel Awards would be given, she would be released from the jail for the occasion. Friends, the first news item which I am going to take is that 24 unreported man made artworks discovered. Man made constructions on the hills, on the valleys of the hills in Amazon have been found out by the LIDAR survey, which is the subject matter of discussion now. Human beings during the ancient civilization of America used to construct even the kingdoms and the forts and several constructions for human dwelling there. The Incas and the Mayas civilization of the American civilization had seen such constructions being persistently made by human efforts, and a very aerial survey of the Amazonia basin has discovered such 24 of them. It is estimated that it is located in a vast expanse of 5,370 square kilometers. That's a huge one, considering that only 0.08% of the survey has been completed now. The next news item which I am going to discuss is antiquity of human footprints at White Sands. The White Sands National Park is a park in northern South America where the footprints of human beings have been found, and carbon 14 dating is considered for just aging or to find out the age of the fossils. The human footprints have been found to be 20,000 to 30,000 years old. This is the remarkable discovery which we have made in the White Sands National Park. It's a very good scenery which we may be willing to visit. Friends, the next news item is the risks with radioactive wastewater release. It is with reference to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, which is located nearby the ocean in Japan. The wastewater has been plannedly released by the Fukushima Daiichi plant, and this planned release of wastewater is meeting the safety norms which would not harm anyone. Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant was in news in 2008 for wrong reasons, because there was a tsunami which caused the flood waters to enter into the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan. Since then, lots of safety precautions have been taken. Now we have this news that wastewater is released in considering the safety precautions, my dear friends. That is good for all. Friends, the question corner this time is dealing with sixth test. The title of the question corner is Sixth Test. Friends, we have different tests: sweet, sour, salty, and bitter taste. These four tastes are known to us. Then, a Japanese scientist named Ikeda found out a fifth taste in 1900s, that is umami. Umami was not first recognized by the scientists, however, after 8 decades it was recognized. Now we are talking about a sixth taste. What is that? The sensors in the tongue which tastes the taste sour is also capable of reacting against ammonium chloride, which is the sixth taste which has been found out. So ammonium chloride taste is the sixth taste in the grouping which we have to consider now. Friends, the next article which I am going to discuss is how plastics affect our daily life. This is goes without saying that plastic is very dangerous and millions of tons of plastic is being released in the rivers, lakes and the sea. In 1907, Bakelite mixed the formaldehyde and phenol and formed the plastic. The writer Balasubramanian is advising us that this bakelite plastic, which has found several forms now, has to be cautiously used. We have to reuse the plastic without throwing it away. This is the moral of the article. It is long article which is written. It is only discussing how hazardous the environment is because of the plastics. I need not elaborate this upon more because you already know that this plastic usage is very dangerous. Therefore, we must refrain from throwing away the plastics and we must reuse the plastic, is what is given in this. Friends, the next article is titled Now a More Efficacious Inexpensive Malaria Vaccine. It is talking about the R21 or Matrix M vaccine, which is administered to children in the age group of 5 to 36 months. In seasonal places like Burkina Faso, like Nigeria, Ghana, there is a seasonal coming of malaria which is helpful, where the vaccination would be provided before the season and where this was perennial. In some places this is very much perennial means every day, every season it is occurring. There it is administered to children in the age group 5 to 17 months. The efficacy was found out to be 75% where it is administered to children where it is seasonal, and in the perennial places where it is found to be everyday affair, that is malaria is found to be everyday affair, it was 68% efficacious. So this vaccine, which is Matrix M or R21 vaccination, which is administered even before the season and for the perennial patients of malaria, this is being developed by the Serum Institute of India and developed by the Oxford University, produced by the Serum Institute of India and developed by the Oxford University, is very much helpful, especially in African countries. This is unlike the previous vaccine and efficacy rate is very much high. Friends, the next news item which I am going to discuss is improving the compatibility of pig organs for transplantation. What is this called? The pig organs to be transplanted to animals and thereafter to human beings also. This is known as xenotransplantation. What is known xenotransplantation? That is transplantation of organs from animals to human beings. Remember this word xenotransplantation. However, we have to see that the antigens are reacting or not. If the antigens are reacting, antigens means the immunity of the animals, the immunity of the human beings. And then we have to see that any zoonotic viruses are there or not. Zoonotic viruses means the viruses which come from animals to human beings. So three things we have to see for this xenotransplantation: the compatibility factor, then the zoonotic viruses, that is the viruses which travel from animal body to human bodies, and then the antigens which will react when this transplantation happens. My dear friends, I have come to the conclusion of today's analysis of the Science and Technology Hindu, and what are the key takeaways is that there are different fields which are growing up. The phase 3 trial of the R21 or Matrix M vaccine has been developed against the seasonal and perennial malaria, which is a good sign. Then the xenotransplantation is going to happen someday in future, which is another good sign. Then the human footprints have been found dated 20,000 to 30,000 years ago. That is showing that our forefathers have lived. Then the fourth key takeaway is very important. We must recycle the plastics. We must reuse the plastics rather than throwing them out. And the sixth key takeaway is that the nuclear waste which has to be disposed should be following Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant of Japan. My dear friends, take care. Bye. See you.